Good day and welcome to my channel. If you like my content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. In this video, we delve into the complexities of land redistribution and expropriation without compensation in South Africa, exploring the historical context and the challenges that arise post-redistribution. We examine the potential economic and social impacts, discuss the importance of sustainable development, and consider the role of government policies in ensuring equitable land reform. Join us as we analyze the critical question: after the land is given back, what comes next for South Africa? Chapter 1: Land is apparently wealth. According to politicians such as Julius Malema, the number one cause for inequality in South Africa is the lack of access to land. White people own all the land and blacks own nothing. Because they have no land, blacks are poor. It sounds like he thinks all the whites have money trees or something growing on their farms. Anyway, land by itself doesn't hold much value, especially if it is in the middle of nowhere. Yes, a piece of land in Sandton is worth a lot, but it doesn't seem to be the land that Malema is referring to. He wants everyone to have access to some farmland where everyone can let their cows graze and plant some mealies. I can guarantee that if someone gets a plot of land in Sandton, they won't grow mealies. They will sell it 10 seconds after receiving the title deed. Land is only valuable if you do something with it. The only reason farms are worth something is that the farmers have built big businesses and made the land usable. Over generations, these farmers have worked the land and gotten the most out of it. Without this, the farms would have been massive plots of nothing but bush. I am certain that maintaining such an enormous piece of land costs more money than it is worth otherwise. On the other hand, is it fair that a single farmer owns a farm that is bigger than some country? Yeah, probably not. Chapter 2: Who owns the land? The EFF, ANC, and MK Party would make you believe that land ownership is overwhelmingly skewed towards whites. Whites do still own lots of land, but the reality is quite different. Based on data from various sources, the biggest landowner in South Africa is the government, including state-owned enterprises. It makes total sense, since this has been the case even before the ANC came to power. Previously, the apartheid government expropriated lots of land to create the previous homelands, such as Venda and Ciskei. The state-owned enterprises, such as Transnet or Eskom, also owned huge portions of land for railways, ports, and power stations. After the ANC came to power, they started with a big land redistribution initiative to acquire land and transfer it to the previously disadvantaged. Whereas some land has been transferred, there is still great amounts of land which the government is yet to transfer. One can only guess that the reason for this is utter incompetence, or the comrades want to keep the land for themselves. Is land the silver bullet? South Africa has many problems, of which the biggest are crime, high unemployment, and low economic growth. I personally think that these issues are much more important than populist trash like expropriation without compensation. As stated earlier, land is only useful and worth something if you do something with it. Otherwise, the land will just sit there idle, overgrown with weeds. I would say that the actual silver bullet would be education on how to use the land to benefit from it economically. I think this is where the government has failed the farmers who got land from the land redistribution scheme the most. More often than not, the farms have been destroyed due to a lack of skills. This is really heartbreaking. Another thing the masses don't realize is that if the plans of the EFF, MK Party, and the ANC go through, they would never actually own the land. The government would own all the land, and the farmers would merely get the chance to lease the land. This would all then lead back to the first problem of not being able to use the land effectively. Because in order to do something productive, you need money for equipment and cows and seeds and whatever else you need to farm. A bank would never lend you any money against an asset that you don't own. These finer details seem to get overlooked. Everyone would in theory have access to the land, but the land would probably contain nothing more than a few chickens and mealies. Chapter 4: The way forward. Given how badly the ANC did in the previous election, they need to start finding votes again. It has taken lots of votes from the ANC, and their rhetoric seems to resonate strongly with a large part of the population. The EFF probably won't exist come the next election, but Malema and his followers will probably join the MK Party or some other new party which doesn't exist yet. Believe it or not, everyone in South Africa already has access to land. Everyone who has the means can go and buy a farm the size of Luxembourg. Sadly, the majority of South Africans are poor and have no chance of ever buying any land. Populist ideas of the EFF, MK Party and ANC will only destroy the country, and everyone would be better off in Zimbabwe. Personally, I don't subscribe to this populist and communist garbage, but it seems that there is still a big market for it. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Until next time.